You know, in some ways, in many ways, the America that I live in right now in 2013 is very much not the America I remember growing up in before Reagan, shall we say, or before Bush. I mean, there were two revolutionary changes in my lifetime. The Reagan Revolution, which was an economic revolution that moved wealth and power to the top 1% and started systematically stripping the middle class. And then the Bush Revolution, which was a revolution in civil rights. And along the lines of that second revolution, it looks like the Obama administration thinks that your cell phone is a, quote, suspicious object, end quote, and wants to give police officers the power to search it without a warrant, whether you're arrested for jaywalking or for terrorism. This was reported in the Washington Post on Monday. The administration filed a brief with the Supreme Court earlier this summer asking the Supreme Court to reconsider a decision made by the First Circuit Court of Appeals back in May. That case involved a Massachusetts man named Brima Worry, who was arrested in 2007 for selling crack cocaine. When the police had Worry in custody, they took one of his cell phones as well, and that phone started ringing. And when it rang, where the little window on the phone, this was an old flip phone, where the window on the phone says, who's calling, it said, my house, and the phone number. So the police wrote down the number, reverse looked it up, found out where the address was, went to that house, busted in, found weapons, drugs, and money. And so Worry, instead of just the small crime he was charged with a whole bunch of stuff and got 262 months in prison. But back in May, the First Circuit Court of Appeals, this is the one that handles the Northeast, overturned that conviction. This court said that police had violated Brima Worry's basic Fourth Amendment right to privacy when they opened his cell phone and tracked down the My House contact. In my opinion, just speaking for myself, the First Circuit Court was absolutely correct in its decision. The Fourth Amendment says this. It's one sentence long. It's really simple. It's really straightforward. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. Now notice this. Papers and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, for a search, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. So historically, the courts have said that personal computers are papers under the Fourth Amendment that require a warranted search. And frankly, because a cell phone, especially smartphones, are just personal computers, very portable ones, I think law enforcement should have to get a warrant before they can search them. But here's where things get tricky. As the Washington Post and the Volokh conspiracy blog point out, the cell phone that the Massachusetts police took from Brima Worry a little under 6 years ago was not a modern-day smartphone. It was an old flip phone. Nothing like an iPhone or a Motorola Droid or whatever. And because that flip phone was so simple, it wasn't a computer, it was a phone. It's going to be a lot easier for the Obama administration to convince the Supreme Court that Worry's phone was not a complex personal computer or a collection of digital papers that required warrants, but was just a suspicious object that police were well within their right to search. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like with this appeal, the Obama administration is basically trying to weasel their way into legalizing warrantless searches of your cell phone. Now, I'd expect this kind of thing from Dick Nixon or Dick Cheney, but not the guy who spent his entire first presidential campaign bashing the Bush administration for shredding the Constitution. That would be Barack Obama. The scariest and saddest thing of all this is that this Supreme Court, this Roberts Court, is so corporate friendly, so police friendly, so right wing, that they might just buy the Obama administration's argument and legalize warrantless cell phone searches. And if so, the NSA is the least of your worries. Kiss another constitutional liberty goodbye. Amazing.